Western time now and all. Hi guys, Martin from AGN Football Fango. So here at the Emirates after a rather disappointing 2-2 draw with Aston Villa. The villains have come and robbed us again of our livelihood. How do you feel today about the game and what are your thoughts?
I think Unai Emery will be wishing us a good evening. Well, look, he's come and done it again, hasn't he? He's come back to the Emirates and spoiled the party after a good North London derby win. It was an interesting game. When we went 1-0 up, I thought we'd done part of the job. Because when we previewed it in the week, we said, if we go 1-0 up, that is the big thing. We didn't want it 0-0 at half-time, get to 60-70, still 0-0, and then be hit on the counter. But it's a little bit similar to the Leicester game, actually, for me. The home one we saw against Leicester, the 4-2. Apart from the difference was we didn't get the 2 goals at the end. It was like we went 1-0 and then 2-0, and you're thinking, yeah, got another half an hour to play, but we knock it around. Hopefully, by knocking it around, by playing it safe, by compact midfield, we'll get over the line. But at the end of the day, and I said this the other day, Villa are a lot better ask. They're a better team than Spurs. So Spurs are weak in comparison to Aston Villa. Aston Villa are a very good side that deserve a lot of credit for what they've done. They've got good wingers, good pace through the middle. They didn't start with Leon Bailey, but he terrorised us last year. And Watkins again, I mean, what can you say? He's just been given one chance, one gilt-edged chance, and he's put it in the back of the net. I don't like Partey at right back, same as what you said. I don't rate it. He's not got the pace to deal with it. It was an experiment that Arteta started with, I think, at the start of last season and then changed it. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Good to see Kai Havertz back on the scoreline again, on the score sheet again. Yeah, great. That's good. A good thing for him. A good confidence booster. But I'm left kind of a little bit yin and yang with it, to be honest. I'm very angry because we've slipped up again, and it's the same old thing, not being clinical enough. It's the same old problems for Arsenal, and this is something that I've said time and time again. We don't learn from our mistakes. It seems to be this circular transitional cycle that happens. We don't have a good enough defence, plug it. We don't have a good enough striker, plug it, and then there's always something. There always seems to be something that's wrong. But Villa are a good side. Somebody said earlier that last season we lost 2-0 to them. This season we've drawn 2-2 with them. I think we had to win that. VAR for me is shocking, absolutely shocking. I don't rate it. I don't think it's used properly. I think that goal should have stood. From what I've seen, from what I understand, I will go and review it when I go home and have another look at it. But to me, what was he meant to do? Was he meant to literally sort of run or do some sort of front dive into the pitch head first to get out of the way of the ball? I mean, what is the guy meant to do? It's hit him, gone in the back of the net. You can't disallow that. I mean, the whole reason with the handball is a deliberate handball. It's not deliberate. It's not deliberate. It's hit him. You can't do anything about it. I'd understand if it maybe came off his actual hand. If he's sort of deflected off his hand and it's gone in, okay. But it looks like it's hit him here, sort of on the border between the chest and the arm. And the refs have disallowed it again. I think the ref had another shocker. I'm sorry. I think he didn't have a very good game at all. He wasn't consistent. He was very lenient with Villa, I thought. But I think, we are where we are. For me, I think we've got to concentrate on securing a position in that top 2. I mean, keep fighting, keep challenging till the end. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're not there right now. We're not there. Got Champions League next week. Do you know what? That might be a good distraction. Get away from Prem to a different competition, and we'll see if we can tuck away Dinamo Zagreb on Wednesday night.
I think you break the whole situation down pretty well there, Adam, and you bring out some really valid points, and obviously, it further compounds my disappointment with this evening's game, if I'm honest with you. So where do you think Arsenal, you talk about the transfer window, we've got a couple of weeks, where do you think we go from here? What's your thoughts? How this season, I think we're in prime position, we're in a fantastic place to take this summer and potentially win either a league title or a Champions League. What do you think that we need to change, and what do you need to? Is it personnel? Is it something in the back room? Is it something? How do we get through this situation and turn this very sort of up and down situation into something certain and fruitful? So essentially, we win.
I think you've got to put money on the table. Money talks in football. Money is the biggest thing in football. I mean, obviously, I don't like part of that and part of what that represents. You know, there were people behind me in the crowd today talking about, oh, you know, what was your favourite experience at school while the game was on? So talking to a young guy, and they're talking about, oh, you know, his school days, his favourite, you know, moments while he was at school. You're at a football game. You're here to watch football. This was while the game was going on, not at half time, while the game was going on.
Do you know what, Adam? That's one thing that really gets my back up at 92 minutes or from 87 minutes, and we're 2-2, and I see people leaving the stadium. It boils my blood to think that, you know, these people have I've got to get that. That's the time, you know. And then obviously the VAR decision, if that goes in, I'm glad that those people would have missed out on that opportunity, because they don't deserve, I don't think, to see those great moments. But yeah, I think. Do you think this is something that, I mean, how do you change that?
I think the club have got to look at it. I mean, obviously you've got the likes of Borussia Dortmund and, you know, these German teams who are absolutely, you know, invested in getting their stadiums as noisy as possible. Why not give the Ashburton Army more seats, more people? Why not do that? We want, you know, you've seen it in the North London derby, that rich passion. That's what we want. We don't want people sitting there saying, oh, you know, how good was, you know, your time at school. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. I mean, I get more frustrated the more I think about it. I don't want people sat behind me when I'm chanting, looking at me, going, you know, like it's some sort of library. You know, that's the old joke, isn't it? Highbury Library, all of this sort of stuff. But Highbury wasn't a library, and the Emirates shouldn't be either. You know, today, okay, it was all right in there. It was all right. But could it have been better? Yeah, absolutely, it could have been better. Could have been better. There were lulls. There were lulls at times, and we've got to make sure as a club we absolutely make the most of our fans, and we can do it. I've seen us do it. You know, 21-22 season. It was loud. People were grateful to be back at football. It was like a bear pit in there, and when it is like that in there, you know, teams come under the cosh, and it does make a massive difference. So it does. You know, it is really, you know, it really does wind me up, that point as well. And then, you know, I think they have to act like a big club, put some money on the table, sign a killer, and let's act like we are the great club with the great history that we are and we have. That's what we've got to do.
Very well said, Adam. Thank you very much for coming on, and it's been a pleasure, my man.